Always great having my next guest on the show. It's the sniper, Sean Woodson, who got another big win, this time at UFC Nashville over Dennis Buzukja, a UD victory. Sean, you look fantastic in there, man. How happy are you with the performance?
Oh man, I'm extremely happy considering all the circumstances with all the different opponent switches and the damn near 1 year layoff and the quality of opponent. I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, I have to imagine you are. Why the year layoff? That's one thing I wanted to start with this interview right out of the gate because I expected to see you back a little bit sooner.
That's a good question, man. Probably about yeah, it's been like it was like a 10-month layoff. I want to say maybe 2 of those months I was dealing with some little small injuries that I had to let heal up. But yeah, those last 8 months I was trying to get booked every month. I was on my manager's phone constantly. Yeah, I was trying to get booked up. But UFC has a lot of people on a roster, and they had a lot of other guys in front of me, I guess, that they had to get to, which I was no hard feelings about it, but I was making it known that I wanted to fight. And but like I said, they got a lot of other people, so yeah, I was just patient and just fine with getting better and sharpening my tools and making sure that I was more than ready whenever the time came.
With this return to action at UFC Nashville, what was that like, man? The crowd looked fantastic. It looked like a really a hell of a card to be making your return to action on.
Yeah, man, it really was. Nashville was great. The fans and the crowd were great, better than I anticipated. I didn't think they would be as electric and enthusiastic and passionate as they were. And I was super early on the card. I was the second fight of the night, and the place was packed, and the noise was crazy. You'd have thought it was the main event or something. Like it seems like everybody who got tickets showed up like as soon as the doors opened. It was great. It was a dope card to be a part of, and it was a really cool crowd for sure.
From a fighter's perspective, I'm really curious about this because you're a guy that's been around for a while now, fighting at a really high level. But when you take that much time off and then you're making that walk down to the cage, what is it like? Do you get the butterfly feeling again, or is it just kind of like another walk? I'm used to this at this point.
I definitely can see how some guys would. That's happened to me before, where I've come off a long layoff and felt everything you just said. But this one, no, I was super calm, super focused, and comfortable, and dialed in. And yeah, I wasn't gonna let the layoff throw me off my game. I wasn't gonna let anything throw me off my game. I stayed pretty calm and composed and focused throughout the four different opponent switches.
Yeah.
So, that was a hurdle in itself, like that was a test to my mental for sure. It Yeah, that was a fight in itself, staying focused throughout all those different opponent switches. So after I had overcame that and it was fight night and it was time to go and we had a guy locked in and ready to go, I wasn't gonna let anything else mess me up. Walking out and seeing that crowd, the lights, the cameras and everything, I was A-okay.
So did you have a game plan going in against Dennis? Obviously, three other opponents, and then you finally get Bazooka here. What was your mindset? What were your coaches telling you to go in there and do on fight night?
There really was no set game plan. It was just such short notice that we really couldn't game plan much for him. I was familiar with Dennis. I knew about him beforehand. I had my eye on him. He was a highly touted prospect, as they say. Uh, world class fighter, comes from a world class gym with multiple world champions, and yeah, he had a lot of hype behind him. So I was familiar with him. I just those couple days that I had prior to fighting him, I'll refresh my memory and watch some film on him. And yeah, I'm trying to, there was no really set game plan. The game plan was the same as any other really going into it. And that's, use my length, my reach, box them up, stick and move early on and then wear them down and find the big shots later on to get the finish. But as you see, I adapted. The fight was I grappled a lot in this fight, and that wasn't planned. That was just, like I said, me adapting. From the moment me and him first locked up, I could feel that my grappling was superior and that I would have success with the grappling. So I just went with it.
Yeah, and early on, obviously, you're known for your boxing. You're a very credentialed boxer prior to even getting into the UFC. So you were utilizing that, but also a lot of leg and calf kicks. Could you tell that you were kind of hurting him and affecting his mobility in the fight?
Yeah, right away, like the first 10 seconds into the fight, I landed a good calf kick. And, the moment I threw it, yeah, it was like 10, 15 seconds in, threw one calf kick. And I'm like, ooh, that felt good. That landed really good. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back to that, and started going back to it. And I know from experience, guys try to, kick these skinny legs all the time. And with shin pads in training, it's one thing, but with no shin pads, that bone on bone, you can only take a few solid ones before it starts to really hinder you and affect you. So once I landed a couple of those, I was like, I might as well keep investing in it and keep going back to it.
Yeah, and you really did a masterful job throughout the fight. In round two, you landed some big knees to the body, and it looked like you were going to get a finish there for a second. Can you kind of run me through that? How close were you?
Yeah, man, I watched back the fight yesterday, and I'm my worst critic. And yeah, seeing that, I just seen that moment you just talked about, and a lot of other moments where I could have got the finish, and I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't. I should have got the finish. It was there a couple times. But Dennis was tough and crafty too. Like, there was a few moments where I felt like I was on the brink of getting the finish, and I would close in, and he would be, really explosive with some really good timing, and, throw some dangerous shots that I had to really be weary of. He hit really hard. There was a couple times where he landed on me and didn't necessarily rock me, but where fighters know what I'm talking about. It was just like a quick flash, and I felt that he had a lot of power in his hands. So that's the last thing I wanted to do, was get overzealous and walk into some stupid shit and end up throwing away a fight that I was ahead on.
Was that towards the end of the second round? Because it looked like at the end of the second round, like maybe he had like a little bit of a moment, but like you got up and you kind of played to the crowd like you're good. Can you kind of run me through that moment at the end of round two?
Yeah, so the most danger I was in the whole fight was the moment where I got a little over anxious and tried to take his back, and I slipped off, and he ended up on top of me in my guard, and he postured up and started raining down some good ground and pound. He was super explosive, super fast and powerful, and those punches were coming quick. And yeah, that brief moment when I was on my back and he got that ground and pound off, those were his most damage and most powerful shots. And that's when I seen a few flashes, and I was like, oh shit, I got to get out of this spot. And I threw up like a submission attempt, and ended up rolling and getting back to my feet. And then he pressed forward and tried to land some more shots, and I fired back, and we had kind of like a little heated exchange. But uh, once I got back up to my feet, I was good. I was good, and I wish there was more time. Like, I was excited and like being like, okay, we about to really get busy here. But then the round ended. But yeah, that time when he was on top of me on the ground, he got in some good ground and pound. That was his best moments.
So you knew, I mean, your team knew going into the third round, you're clearly up 2 rounds to nothing. But that has to be kind of like a little bit of a dangerous time too for you, because he's coming for a finish. He has to get a finish. He's not going to win in the judges' scorecard. So what did your team tell you going into round three?
Oh, exactly that. We knew that. Yeah, we know how it goes. I know what I'm gonna do if I'm down 2 rounds going into the third round. So I expected that out of him. I knew he's gonna come in hot, and I wasn't like, the game plan wasn't, stay away and avoid him. Like, I wanted that finish. Like, and like not even just watching it back yesterday, seeing moments I could finish it. I felt it in the fight, like live there. There was a couple times where I was like, oh, I'm about to get this finish, and I let it slip away. So in that third round, I knew he was going to come in hot, and I knew he was going to be, giving his all to try and put me away. But I wanted to put him away too. I was still looking for the finish for sure.
Well, it's a great performance over a very tough debuting fighter in the UFC. No performance bonus. Is that right? Did they end up giving you one?
No, 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 and that's on me, man. They gave a finish, I think, to everybody who finished the fights. But I didn't. I'm my self accountability, man. That's on me. I should have finished that fight, and I'm sure I would have got a bonus if I'd have finished it. But
Hmm.
again, all in all, considering all the circumstances around this fight and the quality of opponent, even though I'm my worst critic, and there's some small things I'm not happy with. Overall, I'm happy with the performance and happy to
Yeah.
get a win here off. And yeah, there was a lot riding on this fight, and yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no doubt. I imagine that you would be. Did you get a chance to watch the other fights throughout the night after you fought? What was the rest of your evening like?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, right after that fight, we went to the back and jumped in the truck, and we're headed back to the hotel. Immediately right after the fight, my girl and my coach's ladies, they all went and stood in line at Hattie B's Chicken, which is a poppin' fried chicken place out there. And they were in line for like an hour. The line was wrapped around the building. And so, yeah, they went and was getting food for us. And we went back to the hotel, and they met us back at the hotel with the food, brought the goods back, and we celebrated in my room with some good food. And yeah, right after that, we went downtown in Nashville and went to hunt down some dessert and went people watching, watched all the drunk people frolic around and stuff. That was pretty interesting. And I got a couple souvenirs and talked to some fans and stuff. And yeah, it was a good time. I didn't get to, so there was one point where we were downtown and one of the bars they had the fight on, and we weren't in the bar, but like from the sidewalk on the street, you could like, it was right there in front of us. And I watched about 2 rounds on the street of the main event and seen Court putting on a pretty strong wrestling performance himself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I was going to ask you about a couple of things. I mean, the Cody Durden adversity that he fought through against Hadley. Maybe you saw some of it like on Twitter or whatnot, but I mean, I thought he was done. His arm was completely twisted back, and he fought through it. Ended up getting the win. There was just a lot of great fights at UFC Nashville.
Yeah, I heard there were a lot of great ones. I did not see that one. Or I honestly, I mean, I'm aware that Cody Durden won. I saw the gnarly cut that Jake Hadley had on his eye. But yeah, I didn't see that highlight. I saw the Jacoby fight. I saw that Billy Quarantello and Damon Jackson put on a hell of a performance. Yeah, I've read and seen highlights on Instagram about the main event, but yeah, I haven't had a chance to like go back and watch the full card yet. I will though, for sure. I'm gonna watch every single fight on that card.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. That was an awesome card for you to make your return to action on. Post fight, inside the cage with your interview, you mentioned your mom to keep fighting. I guess I don't know if there's something going on with her, but like, can you elaborate as to what's happening?
I mean, it's pretty public, but I mean, to be honest, it's kind of, yeah, it's super personal. And yeah, I mean, no fault to yours on asking. I'm the one who brought it up. I just knew she was watching and she would see that, and I wanted to say that to her. But yeah, it's something I'm not really trying to elaborate on, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Well, nothing but good thoughts and prayers to your mom, man. Yeah, hope everything is good with her there. Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier in the interview about all the time off. The last time we did see you in there, it was a split decision with Saldana. I haven't really got a chance to talk too much to you about that. So, what's the lessons learned from that fight?
Be myself, man. That was the first fight I ever went into where it was about the money. I went into that fight really just focused on the money, and I wanted a performance bonus real bad, and I need to be patient and just be myself. I fought in a way I never ever fight. I had a lot of pressure on myself due to my personal life going into that fight, due to some things with my mom and stuff that really affected the way I fought. I'm not a guy I hate even bringing it up and using excuses, but I mean, it is what it is. It was a real thing. But yeah, that fight, I really was just trying to force the finish. I tried to force things versus going in there, being my normal, calm, cool, calculated self, and just being me. I learned a lot of lessons in that fight, man. That really factored into this fight, and I feel like is what helped me put on such a dominant performance this fight. Yeah, that guy you will never see again. You'll never see that guy again. I learned my lesson in that fight. Thankful for it. Thankful for this sport, as I said in my Instagram post, is both brutal and beautiful. But I'm thankful for it all, even the bad times, because the bad times make you better. And that fight for sure made me better. And yeah, moving forward, I'm gonna be a problem for any and everybody.
Well, I know the fans always like watching you get in there and compete, Sean. I can't do an interview with Sean Woodson and not talk about sneakers, right? So I gotta tell you, my man, I just got the new Jordan 1 low black toes. I don't
Oh,
know if you've seen those or if you've gotten them yet, but they're beautiful. You have to get them if you don't have them yet.
I was sure gonna ask you what's the newest sneaker you got, the Jordan Low. So I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of my skinny legs or because I wear size 12. Size 12 ain't that big, is it? What size you wear?
10 and a half.
Yeah, so yeah, it might be the size 12 on my skinny legs, but Jordan lows look goofy on me to me. Like my feet just look hecka big and awkward, so I don't really rock them for real. Now Jordan high tops, I like those a lot, but yeah, lows I don't. Nike Dunk lows and Jordan 1 lows I don't really wear, but But no, the colorway, I love that colorway. That colorway is dope. I'm always trying to add some Jordan 1s to my collection when I can.
Okay. Well, I wanted to mention that one to you. And then also the Jordan 4 red cements come out next month. I'm sure you're going to get those.
I'm going for them. I got my army. We all gonna be going on, on sneakers app. I got like 15 people I got going for shoes on me at the same time trying to get these things. That's how I do it every shoe I want. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be going after them. Jordan 4, them are one of my favorite Jordans. I was super salty that I couldn't get those. I don't know what they were called, but they're the green and white ones with the gum bottoms. What are those?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted those. I really wanted those. My newest cops I got are the UNC baby blue Jordan 5s. I got those. And then the Wizards Jordan 3s.
Yep.
I got them. Then the black and white Jordan 13s, Jordan 13 ones. Those are my newest 3 editions. I haven't got any more other than that though.
Okay. Yeah, I also got the Jordan 1, the Carolina toe that just
Okay.
came out.
Okay. Yeah, I went for those, but took a L.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, hey, well, maybe with some of that win money, maybe you could buy yourself a pair if you're looking to spend a little bit more. I'm telling you, with what they're doing with sneakers nowadays, man, there's something coming out like every other week. It's crazy. It's going to keep me broke.
Yeah, it is, and the resale be crazy. Like if I can't get them joints the day they drop on sneakers app or something, I ain't messing with it. Like paying $300-400 for a pair of shoes, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Yeah, so I had to address that with you. I'll have to send you a picture after the interview of my new sneaker wall. It's getting a little outrageous. My wife is threatening divorce if I keep it up. So I'm kidding,
Dude,
but not really.
you got the clear container shoe boxes?
I do.
Got to. Yeah, I got them too. I got it. So right now, my collect. What are you at? I got like almost like 30 shoes.
I think I'm closer to 60.
I got 30. They all some heat though. I don't got nothing, no punk. I got 30 pairs of some heat. But like during the summertime, like when the weather's like this, I'm a flip flops guy. Like I just rock flip flops all summer long when it's good weather. I like being comfortable, whatever. But
Yep.
I bust my Jordans out and all my shoes all winter long.
Yeah, no, I'm with you too there, man. I do wear flip-flops a lot too. I'll send you a couple pictures so you can see what I'm working with right now. We'll have to talk about future sneakers and drops when those come around. But I want to circle back to your next fight. I mean, you said all 3 of the opponents that fell off, they can get it. If you had your choice, who would you want? Steve Garcia, Jesse Butler, or Myron Santos?
If I had my choice, well, out of them 3, I would pick Jesse Butler just because I've heard that he's been talking a little bit crazy. My strength and conditioning coach and his strength and conditioning coach are familiar with each other, and apparently his coach has been messaging my coach saying that they want to run it back, they want to set it up, and that I'd be in trouble, and I'm one dimensional. I've heard that, and even as far as like right after this fight, I guess his coach hit up my coach right away and was like, we want to rebook that fight. So yeah, I'm all for that one. I would love to do that, but outside that, a part of me thinks he's bluffing though, to be honest. But outside of those 3 guys, I really want to fight Melsik, man. I called him out a while ago, and yeah, that's a matchup I still would like, and I really want to get on that November 11th card with John Jones at Madison Square Garden, and the only featherweight I could think that would make sense that they would put me on the card with. Oh snap! Did I lose you? We good?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the only featherweight I could think to put me on that November 11th up there is Mike Trizano. No disrespect. I mean, all call outs aren't disrespectful, but I just know he's from that neck of the woods, and they would be likely to put him on that card. So yeah, I'd love to fight him on there. And yeah, outside of any of the 3 guys I was already scheduled to book, I'm down to fight them. Outside of them, I'd like either Melsik anytime, anywhere, or Mike Trizano on that November 11th card.
I love it, man. I hope you get the opponent that you want the most. Definitely after that big performance, that big win over Dennis, I think you deserve it. And always good to see you back in the win column, Sean. Again, Sean Woodson beats Dennis Buzukja at UFC Nashville via UD. Before we do sign off here, man, as always, I want to give you the floor. If there's anyone you want to thank, anything you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Just my team here in St. Louis, Wolvesden Training Center. My head coach, Andrew Evers. black belt who's got my skills good enough to where I even feel comfortable grappling like I did in this last fight. And my strength conditioning coach, Matt Owens, at Project Deliverance, who also, you know, shit played a part in my grappling as well, because he had me feeling strong enough to lock horns with anybody in the division. And yeah, I mean, my management, Jason House with Iridium Sports Agency, they take great care of me, and, you know, some of the best people in the world. And yeah, outside of that, just Woolsden, Project Deliverance, and Iridium. That's my squad.